Good morning, my loves. I am back in my cozy sweatshirt with my hoodie on because it is starting to feel like fall here in New England, and fall is my absolute favorite time of year. I also really love spring as a gardener, but fall, there's something about the crisp air, all of my really juicy good memories in cross country and running, right? And the leaves changing, and the leaves and the trees teaching us how beautiful it can be to let go and go fallow, and maybe even to trust ourselves, right? That we will bloom again after our cold seasons. So today I want to talk a little bit about vulnerability and being human, because this is work that has not just been coming up for me, but coming up with one of my beloved clients. And it's just interesting, the way we can put people who we admire up on pedestals and then be really shocked and appalled when they show up in human ways, especially spiritual teachers. And I've seen it, right? Like when we admire celebrities, expecting them to be perfect and have it all figured out. And none of us is enlightened, so we don't have it figured out, myself included. I'm a work in progress always, just a beautiful mess, moving forward in the world. So just considering, right, that intolerance of humanity in other people is never about the other people, right? That is about us, and this deep fear of vulnerability, right? When I show up in my absolute humanness, when I let go of perfection and trying to show up perfectly in the world, or to explicitly follow the rules of what's acceptable in terms of society behavior, when I stray outside the box, right, of how a woman or a man is supposed to behave, because we really love the binary in this society. And heaven forbid you decide to not pick either box and just exist as yourself, right? The shame and insults hurled. So, right, like that fear of vulnerability exists for good reason, because none of us fits the boxes, right? Like we just don't fit in a box. And when we really connect deeply to our soul essence, right, that truest part of us, our inner truth, it's so expansive and it's bright that, right, like we understand it can never be put in a box. And perhaps that's why the box exists, right? Because if we're all busy trying to pretzel and twist and shrink and stuff ourselves inward and fold upon ourselves, then we're not connected to our truth. And like what a fabulous instrument of oppression, right? That we do it to ourselves. No one's even doing it to us at this point, because the whole culture is programmed to live this way, and we just go about oppressing each other. It's fascinating, and also infuriating, right? So here's the thing. As somebody who has been outside the box since birth and who's gotten lots of flack for it, right? Because I, as a kid who is deeply connected to my truth, who spent a lot of time thinking, what the heck, this doesn't feel right, and often verbalizing that, and like at best getting kind of shushed and like swept aside, and at worst being told there was something inherently wrong with me, especially, right, like being raised in a really strict Catholic upbringing, the kind that every Sunday preached about damnation and all the reasons we were going to hell and how we needed to repent. Like, it was a fear-based culture. And yeah, and so spending a lot of my life trying to sift that out, right? Like, what's mine? What belongs to other people? Is that fear true? And what I have learned to believe for myself is that fear is not true. That fear is an illusion. That fear is an attempt to control me and control other people. And what my experience of the divine actually feels like is just the most delicious, all-encompassing, unconditional love, right? People talk about bliss in meditation. That is what they're talking about, is that God experience, and not just the out there God, the in here God, the, oh, I'm fine. Everything is fine in this moment. Everything is exactly as it should be. I am exactly as I should be. I am divine essence and perfection. And also, right, I have this human experience. I am this soul in this human body, and I'm here to experience, right? Like, that is what comes through over and over when I'm like, why is this so hard? Why does it feel like I suck at everything? And like, what consistently comes through is, you're here to experience. You're not here to fix anything. Everything is as it should be. Like, I've got that covered. Like, just trust that eventually it'll work out. And right. And the suffering that I experience is all self-induced. It's when I'm not aligned, when I am not trusting my truth, when I'm not trusting the universal truth. And those are the times when it's hard to be vulnerable, right? Because when I trust my knowing and I trust divine, I know that I am perfect, and I am shining out that divine truth. I am giving people a taste of what that unconditional love and that shiny light feels like, so they can connect with it in themselves. They can look for it in other places. They can cultivate it in their lives. And when I am not well connected because I'm exhausted, or my kids are sick, or right, like, there's just too much, that's when it's scary. That is when it's scary to show up as my authentic self. Notice my children are not afraid of being their authentic selves in this moment, and there are zero cares given regarding what I'm trying to accomplish in this moment. And it's right, it's still beautiful and it's delicious, and I love that their joy is in the background. And in previous iterations of myself, I may be like, I need to start this whole thing over, and also it's not appropriate to be in a hoodie, and I need to show up in a professional capacity. And instead, you are getting me in my most human and also my most divine. And here they come. So today, I hope you can find some space to be vulnerable. And if it doesn't feel safe to be vulnerable out in the world, maybe practice being a little vulnerable with yourself and just being honest with yourself, or maybe spending some time in front of a mirror, practicing some I am statements, right? I am lovable. I am worthy. I am absolutely divine perfection in this and every moment. And if those are too hard, right? Because those are big statements. Maybe I'm enough in this moment. I am trying my best. I feel like we are all trying our best always, so that's a good one to start with. I'm trying my best. I'm gonna give myself some grace. So pardon my distraction. There's a person moving next to me. just know in this day and every day, I am sending you so much love, and you have got this. And I appreciate you exactly as you are. And so does your God or source or divine. And even if you can't feel that connection, just see if you can know and trust that it exists. Sending you love today.
I love you.